What's up, everybody? It's HBT with Straight Up Wrestling Show. Guys, here live, man, to talk a little bit about some old school wrestling, guys. So, hey, we're not going to be on here all night talking about this, but I'm definitely coming on to talk about, hey, some of the guys, man, that really came into the business, when I was younger, a teenager, that really, man, in my opinion, took the business to a new level, had me thinking on a new level when it comes to guys like these guys. I mean, these guys, like I said, that came in that just, changed my whole perspective on the way wrestling, was. You look at a lot of wrestlers, you have to look at a lot of wrestlers today and say, okay, this wrestler, I'm going to say the last 30, 40 years, ever since the 80s, man, that these guys came in and, they changed, the style of wrestling started changing. And a lot of people point to, like the Barbarians, not the Barbarians, the Road Warriors. A lot of people will point to the Road Warriors, which later on was called Legion of Doom. They are the Road Warriors, Animal and Hawk. They started changing ideas, started changing people's mind on how they looked at good guys versus bad guys. So, I do believe that happened because they was heels and they got cheered like crazy when they made their return back to the NWA. So it kind of blurred the lines between good and evil. Well, a good guy, bad guy. There was a gray in between that. It was always a gray in between that, and that was the promoter or somebody who was pretty much they were trying to get you in there to work to where they could save the other person so they can get the title on whoever they needed to get to. But guys, we're going to go ahead and go off. We're going to go ahead and go off and talk about these guys because I don't want to get off track because it's easy for me to do when I'm tired like I am right now. But guys, I am going to talk about the guys that's behind me. No. Just a second. All right, just a moment. See, Alma Clark is in the building. What's going on? Alma Clark back in the building. All right, Lucas said no link now. Not right now. Alma said I'm back. Harry, Dallas won 31-13. Congratulations to those Cowboys. How about those Cowboys? Was able to take Atlanta out. So, guys, give me just a moment here. I'm going right here, go on Facebook and go ahead and do some sharing right now. And then we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about the guys that I had on the poster or whatever, pretty much on the marquee. We're going to talk about those guys. And I'm going to get into that in just a moment here. Okay. We go and do some sharing right quick. All right, guys. Let's get into this thing, man. Let's definitely get into it. Okay, you can hear me right there because I have my phone on. All right, but yes, first guy, man, right here is to the left right there. Barbarian, guys. Barbarian. Barbarian did not. Barbarian, he's still around. He's still effective today, and he should be wrestling right up the road in Spartanburg, South Carolina here soon. Me and Chris, we have met this guy. We have worked shows that's had this guy on the shows, Barbarian, and he's well into his 60s, man, and mid 60s, I would say, or 65, 66 at the earliest is probably Barbarian's age, if not a little bit older, but he still works the independent circuit. And me and Christopher Burton, like I said, we have worked shows with Barbarian on it. And Chris have really struck up a friendship with Barbarian. But Barbarian, what a tough guy, man. I never forget when I first saw him. What's going on, Mag? Magnum? Mag says, greetings, Harry, in chat. All right, cool. Mag is in the house. Got Alma Clark in the house and Lucas, but definitely, I appreciate each and every one of you. But yeah, going back to the Barbarian, like I said, the Barbarian came in. I'll never forget when he first came into Atlanta, Georgia, came to Georgia Championship Wrestling. That was in '83. And that's right at the top of their run, the Road Warriors, the Legion of Doom. You know, I'm calling them the Road Warriors because that's all it was at that time. Hawk and Animal, they was at the peak of their powers, man. They was a new tag team. They was raw, hardcore, big, fast, just nasty, just dominating every team that was put in front of them. And Ole Anderson basically got tired of it. And then Ole Anderson brought in this character right here, who you see behind me on the left-hand side. That's the mighty Barbarian. And Barbarian, you know, Barbarian came in. The first thing he said about the Road Warriors, he said, you know, he was after these guys. And I thought he was actually after them because he said, man, I'm after these guys. They used to be part of my motorcycle, you know, parts of a motorcycle gang, and they backstabbed me. Parts of a motorcycle gang, and they backstabbed me. So he was up there for revenge. I'm like, this guy's going to tear them apart, or he can hang with them because he was just as big as they were, if not bigger. I mean, I was looking at this guy. I just couldn't believe how big this guy actually was. But, man, so, yeah, he was definitely after the Road Warriors. The Road Warriors seemed intimidated by him and kind of scared. But, hey, when it boils down to it, and Barbarian had to get him a partner named Warlord, and they went at it in several matches against the Road Warriors. And the Road Warriors end up coming out on top. I'm not shocked. And one thing I would say, Barbarian seemed like he was the weak link in that tag team, which he wasn't, because later on down the years, you saw those two being together as a tag team. And when you didn't see Barbarian out there, you had his partner. You had his partner, Warlord, pretty much faltered. But, man, Barbarian was a bad guy, man. When I first saw him, I was just like, this guy's incredible. And I was so happy that he had came to Georgia Championship Wrestling because I was tired of the Road Warriors myself, and I wanted somebody to take him out, and he was the man who could actually do it. But I do not think he ended up, getting that accomplished. But, hey, much respect to Barbarian for trying to do that and pretty much trying to make those guys look normal, even though they was big, strong. Try to make those guys look normal to the general public. All right, my girl Alma Clark says, Barbarian powerhouse worker, so intimidating, like the Road Warriors. Barbarian and Haku, tough tag team too. Yeah, exactly. All right, guys, give me just a moment here. Go up here and do something real fast. Get y'all screens, names on, get y'all comments on the screen up here. All right. Alma says, we'd like to see him go up against Powerhouse Hobbs. Okay. Yeah. That would be an exciting match, Alma Clark. But, yeah, like I said, the Barbarian, he's still out here on the indie scene, and, hey, looks exactly the same. Christopher Burton will tell you that. But, yeah, the Barbarian looks exactly the same, even though he's a lot older, like 40 years older than when we started watching the Barbarian, man. But this guy, he's in his 60s, and he's still incredible. Zach Menger says, happy National Eat a Peach Day. Okay, thanks, Zach. Definitely thank that. Definitely thank you on that. But like I said, guys, I'm trying to not stumble over my words a little bit, which I am, because like I said, I am definitely tired. My body's still tired from all that moving yesterday. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and make it through on this thing. All right, man. Rocky Soulman Johnson, guys. All right, but yeah, Barbarian is the first mystery on this list. And that's what I'm gonna be talking about. Mysteries out here, guys who never got their due. So that's pretty much what I'm gonna be focusing on is wrestlers that never got their due, and I'm definitely gonna give them their props here and see how this thing plays out, man. But these guys never got their due. All right, next on the list we have Rocky Soulman Johnson, and not necessarily as Rocky Soulman Johnson. He wasn't my favorite as Rocky Soulman Johnson. He was my favorite as Sweet Ebony Diamond when he moved over to the Mid-Atlantic Championship wrestling area. Sweet Ebony Diamond was just, man, he was off the charts. This guy, you talking about super athletic at the size he was. And, at that time, not a lot of wrestlers was doing that outside of Mil Mascaras. And then he came, cutting flips off the top of the apron, running into guardrails and all that, getting his teeth messed up. But hey, that's what this guy is. But you talking about athletic and a super athlete, you have to put it right there with my man Dwayne Johnson. You definitely got to put it right there with him. His athleticism is off the charts on another level. And as much as I like Tony Atlas at that time, this guy right here was pretty much, I have to say is the world champion because he should have been the world champion in NWA. And he definitely could have carried the title for a while, in my opinion. And he would have looked good at doing it. And it would have been a great blessing for some family to come up and see that with him and actually get back with Barbarian. Not Barbarian, but get back with Soul Man Rick. Oh my gosh, guys. I'm telling you, I am so tired, but get back with the Soul Man Rocky Johnson, who was Sweet Ebony Diamond. Like I say, Sweet Ebony Diamond. This guy was so charismatic, so good. But I think when it boils down to it, guys, I'm going to have to get some more tea. I'm going to get some tea in just a little bit. When it boils down to it, Rocky Soulman Johnson, the problem I think he had over in the Mid-Atlantic Championship area, Jim Crockett Promotions, is I think he was a womanizer, and I think he was more focused on that. He was away from home, and he was able to do what he wanted to do out here on the road. But, hey, big props to him, big ups to him, because I seen this guy wrestle some murderous row when it boils down to it in the NWA, in Jim Crockett Promotions, which it was just the Mid-Atlantic territory. This guy was wrestling Ernie the Cat Ladd. This guy was wrestling Greg the Hammer Valentine, one of the best feuds ever. I never really talk about it because it's not the first thing that popped up in my mind. The first feud that Greg Valentine had that was really rough and rugged, that was against Roddy Piper. So that don't pop up in my mind. But when I think about the feud that he had with Greg the Hammer Valentine, it was outstanding. But so many different guys, Mass Superstar, him against the Mass Superstar, Mask for Mask. Let's see, him against Gary Hart's Army, man. A lot of guys, the Scorpion, the Missing Link, a lot of guys came out of the woodwork to challenge Rocky Soulman Johnson. But, hey, he was able to go back out to Florida pretty much undefeated. Nobody could really touch him, and he won titles over there in the Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling area. But let me go ahead and get these comments here. All right, Lucas said, "Oh my God, it's home states day." Thanks. Okay. All right, Mr. Scott Larson, hashtag True says Nightmare should be on that list. Danny Davis and Kenny Wayne. You be cracking me up with that, Danny. You definitely crack me up with that. Lucas said, "Okay, link now." No, not right now, Lucas. All right, Nancy said, "Hey, Harry, dear. Yes, these guys are powerhouses for real. Oh, yeah, no doubt." Lucas said, my state I live in is Georgia, and the OC is the peach, and I have to eat. Okay. All right, guys, give me just a moment. When we come back, I'm going to talk about the man who's right behind me, the man in the middle right there. And, guys, I just now thought about something. Is he the most intimidating wrestler that's ever been? And I'm talking about Nikita Koloff. Not as big as Bruiser Brody, not as big as Brock Lesnar and a lot of these guys. But it's this guy right here, in my opinion, and I'm going to go ahead and state my opinion. I think he demands attention from anybody. He always turned heads. But I'm going to go ahead and say it. That is the best heel that I know of. That is the most intimidating. I'm not going to say best heel, the most intimidating heel so far in the wrestling business is that man right there, Nikita Koloff. He was wow, man. Wow. Give me just a moment and we're going to get back to Nikita Koloff, guys. We're going to get back to him. But yeah, just give me a moment. I'm step away, get a little bit more tea here. Let me get up here. Shoot, I can't get it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm going to step away for just a second. But like I said, I'm going to get something to drink, and I will be right back, guys. Yeah, definitely be right back, and we're going to get on Nikita Koloff. Yeah, didn't know I was going to be this sleepy, but yeah, get right back with you. But yeah, we're going to talk about Nikita Koloff a little bit more. But straight up, when I think about Nikita Koloff and I think about the wrestlers, I go through a series of wrestlers. I can't remember anybody. I just can't. Right now, I can't remember anybody in the wrestling world that was more intimidating than Uncle Ivan's nephew, Nikita Koloff. Very, very intimidating. And they talk about Brock Lesnar and how intimidating he is. And some people said the only person that you can really put on that level of intimidation of Brock Lesnar is Ernie the Cat Ladd, which Ernie the Cat Ladd was very intimidating. So I have to put it between, when it boils down to it, I have to put it between Nikita Koloff and Big Cat Ernie Ladd. And when I think about Ernie the Cat Ladd being intimidating, a big intimidating figure, he had to be a heel because he was a fan favorite a good while. When he was a fan favorite, some of that intimidation factor wasn't there, but you still believed what he said and demanded respect. Now, Nikita Koloff did become a fan favorite after what happened, the tragic events that happened to Magnum TA. But, I got to go back before that when he was just Uncle Ivan's. He was tag team champions with Uncle Ivan, and he was tag team champion with Crusher Khrushchev. Just known as the Russians. They fought in 6-man tag team matches against the Road Warriors, Dusty Rhodes. But, man, that guy right there, Nikita Koloff, was just intimidating, bad to the bone. Bad to the bone. And not too many people could hold up against and match up with him. So, yeah, they had some great feuds, some great matches with the Road Warriors. And he pretty much lined himself up good against either Hulk or Animal. I think, of course, he wasn't as strong as Animal, but very close, man. And, I mean, this guy could body press people, take their heads off with that nasty lariat. Form of the clothesline, and one of the best I ever seen anybody do it. Guy was, man, straight up a beast. All right, Lucas said, "Oh no!" Laugh out loud. Okay, Lucas. All right, man. Scotty Larson said, "Go to Gaffney right off 85. All the peach you ever want." Yes. Yeah, this is the peach state right here. I mean, of course they call Georgia the peach state, but nobody produces more peaches than South Carolina. We're number one in the world with that. All right. So got Nikita Koloff. Like I said, Nikita Koloff, I have to say, and Barbarian, very intimidating too. Now, when I first saw Barbarian and he was just a bad guy and coming out the Road Warriors, they was fan favorites or whatever, I probably could say he was just as much or probably as intimidating. But these guys, I got 3 guys on this list right here who was very intimidating. But Nikita Koloff, when I think about it, there's one other guy on here that might be more intimidating than him. I definitely think he was a better wrestler than Nikita. Nikita was raw. He was raw. He jumped in the ring, really didn't have no experience. He was just throwing people around. But man, he just turned into a flipping menace to society. Great wrestler, man. Great competitor. But yeah, love Nikita Koloff, guys. All right. All right, Elmer Clark says, Rocky Johnson, good, built, so athletic, should have been world champion back in the day. Yes. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. He should have been the first black world champion before Ron Simmons. He was better than Ron Simmons, way, way better. Michael Heumann said he is such a sweet guy. He came up to our church and brought the word. Okay, that's incredible. Glad he did. All right, Lucas said, yes, that's my home state, yeah, we know about that, Lucas. Did I skip somebody up here? No, I didn't. I guess not. All right, let's see. Alma Clark says, shut up, be quiet, Chaz. I'm online. All right, Alma Clark says, Nikita Koloff, intimidating beyond words, scared me as a kid back in the day. The Russian sickle. Yeah, that word Russian sickle was just crazy. And, you know, he was always in this like bad mood. Anytime that you saw him walking around with Uncle Ivan, looked like he just wanted to kill somebody, just destroy them. And, you know, he was just as mad as the Soviet Union, you know, as far as I'm talking about their army, you know, which was big, huge, and intimidating. He was just as intimidating, you know, hey, and even made Ivan and Crusher look as intimidating too. But him as, you know, Ivan was the leader, but those two was his henchmen. But Nikita just overshadowed both of them and just seemed like this guy that just, like I said, was just going to take your head off or take somebody's head off any minute. As David Crockett, which he took his head off. David Crockett said he really wasn't even expecting that. All right, man, let's go up here to, like I say, this guy right here, man. Brad Armstrong. Dad is Bullet Bob Armstrong, but Brad Armstrong, guys, probably the best wrestler to ever wrestle without winning the world heavyweight championship or winning a major championship. When I'm talking about a major championship, I'm talking about the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, the NWA United States Championship, and the NWA World Television Championship. You know, I don't remember him winning either one of those. He may have won the television title. I'm gonna have to check that out, but I'm not sure. And of course, he didn't win, you know, any major title over in the WWE, or did he go? He didn't even go to AWA to win any major titles, but he did win some regional titles. And man, this guy was just, you know, hey, probably the best drop kick I ever seen outside of Jumping Jim Brunzell. And I say Jumping Jim Brunzell, and I'm talking about the 70s Jumping Jim Brunzell, not the Killer Bees version, even though he was still good. But when he was in the 70s, he was a lot younger. Guy was one of the most devastating wrestlers I ever seen. But he hit you with that drop kick. It was just a thing of beauty. That's something that Brad Armstrong had. Brad Armstrong didn't set with that. Pretty much just let himself get set. Brad Armstrong will wrestle you in different ways, man, but very strong, very athletic, and man, can just basically go, man. Can go. And hey, he's gonna be missed a big time. He's been gone for a while, for a few years back. But yeah, Brad Armstrong, Bullet son, Brad Armstrong, just an incredible specimen in and out of that ring. Somebody that you pretty much wanted to be, you know, the type of person that you wanted to follow, man. I can say a role model, you know, one of the role models to your kids and things like that, because we know our kids, they watch this stuff. But yeah, that guy right there, Brad Armstrong, you talking about somebody who did it right and did it the right way, like Ricky Steamboat, is Brad Armstrong. Brad Armstrong was something special, guys. All right, I see I got some more comments here. Let me go ahead and get them. Give me just a moment here. All right, Lucas said, my church is Way of the Cross Church, McDonough, Georgia. Okay, Way of the Cross. Cool. Lucas said, oh, no, a yes link now. Not right now. Not right now, Lucas. I'm not going to be doing that on this stream. Let's do it on the next one, okay? Promise I'll get you, buddy. I promise you I'll get you. All right. Let's see. Probably do something again tomorrow. All right. Let's go ahead and go with this guy right here. Go with this next guy. All right, the guy right here, I got that's right up under Tommy Rich. Man, you talking about intimidating. Oh, my gosh. I'm going to go ahead and I continue to give Nikita Koloff as far as the intimidation factor. But as far as straight size, strength, man, they could just run through anybody. That was the man right there that's under Tommy Rich. Angelo Mosca had a son named Angelo Mosca Jr., which I almost called him, but Angelo Mosca, man, I have to say he can whoop up on anybody that's on this list. If there was a 5-man tag team challenge, he's gonna beat everybody. He's gonna come out on top. But that guy right there, I went by there earlier today. I guess you can call it yesterday now, and pretty much got some shakes and everything. Some ice cream for my wife, my son. But yeah, this guy, man, Angelo Mosca, was just mean, nasty. And when he beat his opponents, he didn't show no mercy. He just eliminated them. He just pretty much laid the hammer to him. It didn't matter who it was. But Angelo Mosca Jr. didn't get the props, man. Didn't get his just due. but this guy is very, very intimidating. And one of those guys, as soon as you saw him, you knew he was going to go in there and pretty much be putting it on people. And there was nothing anybody could really do to stop him. And yeah, they did try to have the red tape and all that to pretty much hold him down. But yeah, he pretty much broke out of that. But hey, guys, I appreciate each and every one of you come in. Before you leave, hey, over on Facebook, hit that like, share, join. If you're here on YouTube, hit the like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, ding, ding, ding. So you know when we're on like times like these, do the same thing over on X, guys. Hey, hit that like, share, tweet, and retweet, and follow the Straight Up Wrestling Show. And on Twitch, you do the same thing that you do here on YouTube, man. But yeah, I am barely holding on. But I do appreciate Lucas coming in. Lucas said, I'm waiting. I appreciate Lucas coming in. I appreciate Alma Clark coming in. I appreciate Christine Saucy Girl. I think she came in for a little bit. I do appreciate Scott Larson coming in. I appreciate Nancy coming through. I appreciate so many people coming through here. Zach Minger coming through. Definitely appreciate you, Zach. Keeping us up on the food thing. All right. Let's see. I did have I had Scott Larson come in. I had Magnum came in pretty much to represent Straight Up Wrestling University. But guys, yeah, I am dead tired, man. And like I said, I just don't know how much more I can, I don't know how much more I can hack doing this thing. But wow, man, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm so out of it. But yeah, big ups to Barbarian right here. Rocky Soul Man Johnson below him. Right in the middle, I have Nikita Koloff. I have Magnum TA and Angelo Mosca. And the people that should have been world champions. Hey, Brad Armstrong definitely should have been a world champion. Rocky Johnson probably should have been our first world heavyweight champion, and so on. But Angelo Mosca definitely could have been a world champion. Just like I said, this guy can run through anybody. And yeah, he pretty much was a locker room leader, and everybody used to listen to him. But yeah, so man, yeah, I just wanted to just pretty much go over these wrestlers. Listening to my kitty over here, just my cat. Now he's over here just crying, whining. So I'm going to go ahead and feed him in just a little bit. And yeah, I appreciate you guys coming on, rocking with me. Alma Clark says, I'm going to bed. Yeah, B90 out. Hey, I don't blame you because, yeah, that's one thing I've been trying to do. I'm trying to avoid that. Man, because, hey, want to go to sleep. Let's see. Mag says, take it easy, Harry. Have a great weekend, everyone. You too, Mag. Michael Human says, good night. Get you some rest, dear. Do it tomorrow. Yeah, definitely going to get some rest. I'm going to do another one of these and pretty much recap this thing right here. But, yeah, I think I pretty much got it. But, yeah, just a little bit off, man. Just a little bit off. Pretty much, like I said, I am dead tired, guys. And, yeah, I'm going to come back. I'm going to do some more tomorrow. But, yeah, going to be on here, man, representing the Straight Up Wrestling Show. Y'all stay straight up. Peace.